Hi.
Hello. Hi,
Can you
Sonia.
hear me? Hi.
Yes, very much. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, I can hear. I can see so many people. Ram,
Already
are
there.
you? Yes, already there. So, how are you, Aditi?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
It's
I'm
nice
excited.
finally to have.
I know finally to do this. Hi,
Yes, after a
Dipesh.
long time.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Whoever has joined in so far.
Maybe you can settle down, Aditi.
Yeah. Sorry.
So before Aditi introduces me, I'm going to introduce Aditi. Which was not the part of the plan, but it is very important for me to share who she is. Aditi has been working with Touching Lives, is a family member of Touching Lives since almost 12 years now, 11, 12 years. And
Right.
from working with like small children to young adults, she has come a very long way. She has immense experience in teaching the children, in working therapeutically with them. And past few years, she has taken over the HR, and she is the one who helps design the curriculum and make sure that everything is working in the organization. So thank you for doing what you're doing, Aditi.
Thank you. Thank you, Sonia. I'm really overwhelmed. And thank you so much for your kind words. I'm very happy to be part of this family. I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Um, so I would like to start by introducing Sonia to everybody. As you all know, that Sonia is the founder director of Touching Lives, and she's also a filmmaker, a hypnotherapist, and she has also developed self work. Okay, a concept which means working on ourself, looking inward, and dedicatedly and continuously spending time to work on our own self. Okay, so it could be through meditation, through silent walk, it could be only journaling or just some moments of silence, but everything and everything to do with just being with your own self. So that is all about self work. And today's session is about introducing meditation to children. And I would like to hand over now to Sonia. So thank you so much. And yes, you
Okay.
can take it forward.
So, thank you. I wish we could do like an interactive session here, but anyway, I will make sure that the session is informative as much as possible, and to allow you to kind of reflect, everyone who's present here and who will see the video in the future, of what meditation is, what are the different forms of meditation, why we should introduce meditation to the children, the benefits of meditation, and I want to share what are the different techniques according to the age group. Uh, so this is also for the parents, this is for the students, this is for the therapists, the healthcare workers and teachers who want to introduce this as a tool in their classrooms. So I would like to start with sharing one thing that I really believe, that meditation is giving. Okay, the nature of meditation is giving. Uh, Meditation can only give you and give others the strength to self real for the self realization. When I say the nature of meditation is giving, it does not just mean that, oh, I want to have enlightenment, or I want to have a better mental health, or I want to have a great memory, or I want to develop my relationship, or just be in silence, or become a hermit, or, become a monk. It is not about that, but as I said, the nature of meditation is giving means when you are meditating, when you sit for meditation, you are not just receiving the benefits of meditation, but at the same time, you as a meditator is also giving back that energy to the universe. So, so the nature of meditation is all about giving. That is, when you sit to do meditation, you also are invariably giving to the universe. So that's what I wanted to share. How did meditation come into my life? I'll tell you a small story. Like when I was a kid, maybe since the time I was born, and when I was growing up, my parents used to take me and my sisters to, for silent meditations in the morning, 4 to 5, and we used to go to the meditation place 4 a.m. in the morning. My mom used to wake us up. She used to dress
Wow.
us, and she and my father would take us to the prayer hall. And even though I would go to sleep on her lap, it was so beautiful to wake up at 5 o'clock and see my mother in meditation. So this has actually given me a reference point of what meditation can do to someone. At the same time, even now, like, when I wake up in the morning, my mom and my dad are there meditating, sometimes together, sometimes alone, but they do spend some time alone. So I think meditation to me came because it was like a mirroring effect, that I saw my parents doing it, I saw my sisters doing it, and it came into my life, and I integrated this as a part of my growing up. I
And
have
you also
written.
made it, sorry, you also made it possible to be a part of all of us and all the children. And I can see its effect on Poonam, Ram, Sonam, all the students who are now doing so good in their lives, and also they are working with us. So it's very beautiful experience. Thank you for sharing this.
Thank you. Okay, so with this example, I want to share that our parents, the teachers, and the people who are kind of our guide, when they are practicing meditation, the children automatically pick this up. They automatically pick this habit of meditating. Once again, when you are a teacher, or when you want to introduce meditation, to the children you're working with, you need to be very clear of why you want to introduce this to them. So I'm going to mention some of the benefits of meditation before we go on to the different kind of meditation. I have few written, and which is something that I have already experienced, seeing the children are touching lives of what it does. Okay.
Yes.
So one is that we are not just a body. We have a soul, we have the mind, we have a spirit, we have intelligence, we have consciousness, we have this collective consciousness. Okay. And all these things put together is our whole, and meditation is a kind of tool that leads to the realization of this wholeness. Okay, but the realization cannot just happen overnight. Yes, if you are already enlightened soul, the realizations can happen overnight, or in a minute, or a blip of second. However, a continuous practice of meditation, not just in terms of sitting in silence, but there are different forms of meditation which I will introduce. Making meditation as a part of your everyday life leads you to balancing all these aspects. Okay, so it's a balance, it will bring balance to our lives. Second is, when it brings balance to our life, we are kind of integrating all these elements together. the elements of understanding, the elements of values, the elements of executing our values into the world, the elements of self-expression. Okay, so when we meditate, there is a kind of process that happens inside us. Okay, so even when we are sleeping, it's a form of meditation where we are surrendering. So every moment that we are living is a possible meditation that is happening, you know. Apart from this, apart from the integration and balance, meditation allows one to improvise the memory, to become more attentive. It improvises the sleep. At the same time, it also kind of, when you meditate, it opens the space inside you so much that you are then able to value your life. You are able to value what's there happening around you. You are able to practice love and kindness. uh, this is for like everyday thing, but meditation, as we've seen even in Touching Lives, has allowed children to work on their anxiety, to work on their depression, to work
Yes.
on issues that they have been facing. And it could be the issue of self-image, it could be the issue of anger. So meditation allows, and of course, not one kind of meditation can work for all the issues. Okay, so then there are therapeutic based meditations also that can be done. As I move along with different forms of meditation, I would also tell, like, with it, what are the benefits. Okay. So, some of these meditations that we've been doing in Touching Lives, for the age group of 5 beyond, 5 plus, we've introduced meditation even to the age group of 4, 4.5, who started coming to Touching Lives, and how they beautifully sit in silence. So, uh, first, what does meditation do? There is pratyahara. Okay, this concept has come from Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, Ashtanga Yoga by Maharishi Patanjali. Pratyahara is basically the bridge between the outer world to the inner world. Okay, and then at the same time, what your inner world becomes, it then is expressed in the outer world. Pratyahara is a bridge. Okay, so meditations that can become a bridge from taking you from outside world to the inside world. Okay, so pratyahara is a bridge of the outer to the inner, which only means the withdrawal of senses. Okay, so one form of meditation is the withdrawal of senses. That is, when your eyes are open. Okay, there's so many stimulation. There are colors around. There are people around. There are so many things that are happening. The moment you close your eyes, you are not letting the outside stimulation to affect you. Automatically you are kind of aligned. So this is what even happens when you're not able to remember something. Okay, in your life, what do? We all close our eyes and try to think and remember. Okay, and why we close our eyes is nothing but to withdraw ourselves from this stimulus outside. So pratyahara is a form of meditation where it is a withdrawal of senses. Okay, I always tell people in my workshop to practice one exercise, and that's like, you can close your nose and try thinking something. All of you who are watching this right now, you can just close your nose, try to hold your breath, and then try to think something, and you'll realize you cannot go beyond one or two thoughts, because you start coming back to your breath.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so meditation is also allowing the thoughts to release, and at the same time to surrender yourself. So many times people ask me, do you concentrate on one thing? You tell your children to concentrate on one thing. That's one form of meditation. But then there's another form of meditation which is free flowing. You let your thoughts just flow without any judgment. So this was pratyahara. It's withdrawing your senses, okay, from the outside world. Then there is dharana. Okay, so dharana itself says concentration, that you're focusing on something. So it could be, just in space you're focusing. It could be just on a point that you're focusing. It's just a word that you're focusing on. It's a music that you're focusing on. So the idea here is to help the child focus, and this works beautifully for the children who, we know that who wants to run around the place and do not want to sit in one place. Okay, and yet how could you bring focus into your classroom? So I remember a time when in the classroom there was one, I don't know, this is very long time ago, when we had a kid who could retrieve everything. The memory was very good. He was answering everything, but he was not able to sit in one place. So the idea for him to really do something in group was very difficult. And how we had how we try to bring in the element of just focusing. I remember Tanvi doing the candlelight meditation,
Yes,
where
yes.
everybody had to sit in circle and he was allowed to sit wherever he wants to, but his focus should be on the candle, which was like a concentration. So the first meditation is pratyahara, the second is dharana, the third is dhyana. Dhyan basically helps you to reduce your anxiety, your stress, and basically sitting in your own breath. Dhyan is like the normal meditation where you are just with yourself, you're hibernating, and you're just alone in the room. You are allowed to just be who you are. And dhyan could be like journaling, like how we introduce it to our children in the classroom, where they can sit wherever they want to, they can journal, they can paint, they can do mandala. The whole idea is for their mind to bring that dhyan, bring that. There's a thin line between concentration and dhyan. Dhyan, concentration where you're actively concentrating something, but dhyan is basically you're flowing after that concentration. How you start your painting and then, intuitively it flows. So the idea is to bring in those activities in your classroom that can help the child to flow. There's neither right or wrong. There's no assessments that needs to be done. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's there was this.
And we have done so. Yes, Sonia. Just to add that it's it has been very beautiful to see children, engage in mandalas. So we used to put we used to put good meditative music, and they were just given mandala worksheets to color. So that was one, and then doodling was another thing that they were just given chance to doodle, and there was so much of silence, there was a different energy, and after that, even the concentration level of the children had improved, the participation had improved. So yes, as
Yeah.
you say, I recall those meditation activities that we've done. So yes,
Yes.
dhyana. Yeah.
So, Dhyan, and then just I've written here that it really helps to reduce anxiety, stress, and brings that inner strength and awareness. It is also an ability. Now, meditation, sometimes, like a lot of people come to me, like parents come to me and tell me that, he doesn't sit to do anything, he doesn't do his homework, or, there are complaints regarding the children, and it's always like, meditation is not something to solve your problems. Okay, it's not. It's a way and the value of life. It is like the problems will keep coming in our lives. There is no running away from the problem. There is no A to Z formula that you can give your child to be perfect. Okay, and meditation is a tool that will allow the child to understand his own consciousness. He is his own. They are their own consciousness. They have their own soul. They are here for their own journey. Yes, of course, a lot of factors, the family factors, the cellular factors, the birth imprints, everything affects the personality. But at the same time, we who are wanting to introduce meditation in the classroom or to the children, we must just have full faith that even if the child is doing 1 minute meditation or 30-second meditation, it has impacted the child. Okay. And the way the impact is not that the child, will be like, okay, now I am like, Zen, and now, I'm good with everyone. No, the child will express himself out of many stimulus, but at the same time you will start observing the choices that he's making in his life. He's very conscious
Right.
about the choices. Okay, so and this is the process that you will see over a period of time. Yeah. Then there is something called as samadhi. Okay, these are the names that are given by in Ashtanga Yoga. Again, I'm repeating. These are some of the meditations that we do at Atangas, but we have not been giving this name. But today, when I was formulating the whole talk, it just made me understood that these words will actually help others to bring in their own kind of variations. So samadhi is basically for me now. Samadhi ka matlab ye hota hai you surrender. Okay, and it is a word that cannot be explained. It's an experience. Okay, and samadhi is a state where I would say that you're not just in that non-doingness. Okay, it's not a state of nothingness. It is in one dimension, but in the dimension that where we are regularly in connection with people. Okay, this state is basically about practicing your human values, where there is harmony, where there is peace, that your action somewhere creates that harmony. So, if I am practicing meditation, if I am, the state of samadhi is not just sitting in one place and getting into that nothingness space. If I have to bring the state of samadhi in my day to day life, it is all about practicing forgiveness, it's all about practicing human values, it's all about living
Right.
with honesty and with originality and authenticity, and not just in the place of work and in the family, but with yourself. It's about expressing and experiencing samadhi with yourself, which is very difficult. To look after oneself is very difficult. We are great human
True.
beings. We are great in looking after other people. We will have various tools and very resilient power in us to be there for other people always. Okay,
Yes.
we've always said we've all gone out of the way to help other people, but we have to now start bringing samadhi in our lives as well. Now, how this is important in your classroom? Okay, it is important in your classroom because as a teacher, as a parent, what you do, the child imitates, and we all know that. Okay, as a child, we have only learned to imitate what is in the external world, and we have only learned to redo according to our reference points of our conditionings. Okay, so the idea here is when, as a teacher who practices the value, the child will already see that you're practicing it. Okay, very simple example
Correct.
is I was learning German recently. It's a language class, and we were 12 students in the classroom, uh, and none of the students spoke English. Okay, no one. They were all from different countries. Everybody spoke different language, and everybody had come together to learn one language. Okay, we had so many things to talk to each other, ask each other, but there was no way uh, apart from using the translator, and which was very difficult, in the day-to-day life. Yet, in those 4 to 5 weeks, the kind of connection that we built was not because what we spoke verbally, but how we represented ourselves and how we were there to help each other. Our actions spoke better. So samadhi is this, I would say. If you have to im, implement samadhi in your life as meditation, then it is through your action, and through teacher's action is what you could bring in your classroom. uh, Samadhi brings resilience, emotional strength, and empathy. At, of also, it improvises your sleep as well. I remember that how in Touching Lives, we let the children sleep. We take them through the guided
Yes.
meditation, and we also just touch them, caress them
Yeah.
in the loving way, just as the mother does. Okay, so a teacher is building a strong connection. Now, how many parents, when their children have grown up, would want to actually sit and would want to, like, caress their child, and maybe the young adult is like the teenagers yet, like, mom, you go away from here, I don't want to be with you. But the idea here is to I know so many of my friends who are parents who actually sit with their children, who do affirmations, and who also meditate together, who introduce meditation in their own way to their children, and have allowed their children to choose whether they want to go ahead or not, with practicing the meditation. Then meditation also allows you to shift your attitude, so attitude is so important, so important. Okay. uh,
Okay.
uh, like when you are in a classroom, like for example, now I recently learned swimming. Okay. Now I was with a group of people who were already swimming was a part of their life, going into water was a part of their life. But for me, like, coming from India, and coming from where I was, swimming was something like a luxury, so I never learned swimming then. So when I was in the swimming pool with other people who were better than me, I had so many such breakdowns. First I had broken down because my leg was not touching the ground. Okay. So that was one, it was a very deep water. Second thing, I was not able to do anything. I was not able to dive, or I was not comfortable, in that environment. And then there was a moment when I was alone in the swimming pool, and I just went inside and I said, okay, I'll start practicing a little bit, and I just built that connection with the water, and I felt so light. Because there was, and then I reflected, and I realized that there was no one, and I was not going to be judged by anybody, and it was much easier for me not to compare myself to others, that they were better than me, and what they are going to say. I realized that it's time for me to shift my attitude. Even if there are 100 people around and I'm not able to do it, I have to tell myself, yes, I can do it. And it was a process. It was a process. Okay. So sometimes it is you as a teacher would want to introduce such things to your child, but then your child is also affected by so many other elements in the classroom. It could be
Hmm.
other people, it could be the background. Again, with the children that we work with, so how much ever confidence you have, there are times when children come and say that, oh, I go to college and I cannot invite my friends home because I live in a slum community. So they may be very resilient, but at the same time, the background may hold them back. And what meditation does, what meditation does, is to really give them that moral support. So no matter what, no matter at what level the child is, introducing and asking them to get back to meditation is very important in their own way. It could be music, it could be affirmation. I remember when Ram was in 10th standard, and he had to give his exams, how we had recorded some affirmations in the phone, and he used to hear it every single night. And how he actually build confidence through those affirmations. So it's a constant effort of a parent, it's a constant effort also of the teacher to bring in the elements, not just by sitting in classroom, but also by opening different kind of possibilities for the children through different kind of techniques. They want to ask anything because I'm only the one talking.
Yes. So, one thing that I'm just trying to highlight is that definitely what you said is everything to do with meditation or any process. It doesn't happen overnight. everything is a process and it takes time. Yes. So I would like to ask the audience if there is anything that you would like to uh, ask, you have any doubts, or you connect with anything that Sonia had mentioned. So let's see if
So
there
there
are
is,
any questions. Then
I see that there is a question about anxiety that I would
what
like
is,
to answer, but
yes, what is
what is
anxiety
anxiety
disorder?
disorder and why
Why
it
it
happened
happened?
after stopping? Okay, so I'm going to come to that answer, uh, but I'm going to finish what I wanted to say with regards to the topic that we are covering right now.
There's another question also, Sonia. I find it hard to meditate. I get restless.
Good. Okay, that's a
Yeah.
very good question as well. And we are going to come to different forms of meditation, in which you can choose what meditation is good for you. Okay. It's very interesting. Also, that brings me to the topic of the three gunas. Okay. Uh, that is the properties through which this entire nature is made. Okay, and this property is within us as well, and the three gunas are rajas, tamas, and sattva. Okay. uh, Rajas is movement, tamas is basically stillness, and sattva is, how do I explain, uh, sattva is like the wholeness, that you are in that state of alignment and awareness, and all the elements of our life, so for example, you pick up a table or the furniture behind me. Okay, so this furniture, which is behind me, as also these three properties of tamas, rajas, and sattva. Okay. Tamas is stability. Okay. Rajas is movement, and sattva is consciousness. Okay. This quality is also inside every element and inside us. Okay. So this furniture has more of, you say, tamas, because there's stability, there's a quality of stability. Okay, and it's only until you move the table it will not move. Okay. Sometimes we are moving a lot, either in real or either in our heads. Okay, so there are a lot of thoughts that are coming.
Mentally.
Okay,
Yes.
mentally there are a lot of thoughts. Okay, so what is the state? That is, this is rajas that's happening inside you. Okay, if there is a lot of rajas happening inside your mind, then definitely your body is going to be in the state of tamas. That is, it's not going to move, it's going to feel sluggish. Okay, tamas also means being at one place, feeling lethargic, not wanting to do anything. Okay, so you have to understand at what where you are right now. Okay, so somebody who's asked that I'm not able to sit in one place to do meditation because I feel
Right.
restless. So in this case, in this situation, you really need to think, what are the thoughts that are bothering me in my life, and have I really worked on those thoughts? Okay, there could be just a simple writing journaling that you could do to write all that thoughts that disturb you, all the situations in your life that disturbs you. Okay, and once you let this thought out, okay, all the thoughts, this movement of thoughts out will come. What you need is the positive tamas, that is, the you are able to sit, and then when you're able to sit, you are able to be in the state of sattva. Okay, so it's very simple, like even food is sattvic, tamasic, and rajasic. Food that can bring movement in your life, foods that can really put you down and take your energy away, and food that can actually help you become more active. Okay, so all the three elements are present inside us. Okay, which one is more active? Sometimes sattva is more active, sometimes rajas is more active, sometimes, and you require all the three. It's not that one is bad and other is good. You just need to know in which state you are in your life. Okay, so for example, when you are in your classroom, or when your child at home is not really doing anything, is already on, like the laptop all the time, or when you're in the classroom and you feel, the children are not really listening to you, what do? You try to, bring the energy. So you tell them to get up, and do some activity and do the icebreaker. What are you doing there? You are actually bringing the Rajasic element in the environment, in them. That is, you're bringing movement. Okay. And if they are really like moving around, what do you want to do? You want to do activities that brings about tamasic and calms them down. Okay. So these are the three gunas that you need to see where you are at. Yeah. Okay.
Kevin, I hope
Uh,
that this has given you your answer. And yeah,
Okay, so I'm right now going to introduce some methods that you could introduce to your children, and at home or in your classroom. I would say meditation actually starts the moment parents become parents, the woman becomes a mother. Uh, uh, a lot of people tell that I'm not able, just like as Kevin said, that I'm not able to sit in silence, but our very basic nature of human being is silence. So sometimes you don't have to uh, bring in silence in your life, you have to go in silence. So uh, why I say silence is the nature of human being is because for 9 months we were in the womb, you know and womb is a silent place to be in. Okay, you are yourself and yet you are connected with the outer world. Okay, so it's a state which is like a pratyahara state, a state of dhyan. It's a state of ekagra. It's a state of oneness. Okay, and so to sit in meditation is not a very big task for us. It's easy and it's fun. Okay, so it's not like, I want to meditate, so it's like, such a boring thing, and who will do it? And there are different ways, to make meditation fun as well. Yeah. Uh, so methods. So, sorry,
Sonia,
Aditi.
before just going there, Kevin has asked this one question. What is your approach to overthinking? So maybe I think what you're going to say next might be the answer to what he's asking.
Hmm. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of okay, overthinking is something where you haven't really given one thing like a whole thought. There's some loose ends yet. Okay, so
Hmm.
which only gives you a clue that there's something about what you're overthinking needs to be resolved. So maybe you could like take a help of someone or do the guided meditation. You will have to figure out what you overthink about. Okay, so some of the methods which could be used for 5, 4, or 5 plus that we use in our classroom at Touching Lives, whether now even though we've gone online, we are still using some of the methods, is sitting in silence, which everybody knows that silence is so powerful. But at the same time, sitting in silence, not just with the eyes closed, that is one technique, but also just sitting in silence. Not necessary that I have to close my eyes. I could be looking anywhere, but I am silent. So, not talking to anyone. Um, Music, listening to music that gives certain frequencies. So you can choose what kind of frequency you want to invite in your classroom in on that particular date. And before the child even enters the classroom, the music could be kept on. So immediately there is a conditioning that you come into the room and automatically the child knows, oh, the activity is already started. Then Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono is the sorry and thank you method in which you let the child speak that I am sorry, thank you, please forgive me, and I love you. And this is a very beautiful method, if you can go Google about this method and the power that it holds, you would know that this is something that you could actually practice at home before going to sleep with your child. Like I do practice it with a friend of mine every night, where we say Ho'oponopono to each other. We say, I am healed and I give love to the world. So you can actually have this time for just like it takes a minute to do this activity. Then again, to those who are joining now, this is methods that is for 5+ or 4+. And so sitting in prayer position, okay, so sthirasana, just by joining your hands, okay, this gesture of joining hands, and even if you don't say anything, this gesture itself is a gesture of gratitude. It brings the sense of gratitude in our hearts. It's a sense of gratitude. It's a sense of becoming holier. It's a sense of coming back into the oneness. Yeah. And these methods can help you build great rapport with the children, and also allow the children to, whatever hours you work with them, say it's a 1 hour session or 2 hour session, they are conditioned in that frequency for that hour. So again, when you do the prayer position, when you come to the prayer position, so there is a touch that is there. There is a prayer that you speak through words, okay, and then the prayer and the touch brings the energy. So every word has energy. All of us know that. If I am spoken badly by somebody, my energy is going to go to the state of tamas, But if I'm spoken nicely by someone, it could go to rajasic or sattvic state. Yeah. So I would introduce now meditations for 7+ children. So children who are 7+ are now in this understanding that, okay, I am different from my parents. There's this entire another world that I need to explore. I have a body, I have a mind that is changing, and so there is the separation from the world of home is changing to the world of outside. Okay, and understanding that I am an individual starts seeping in. Okay. So breathing exercise is very important. You could introduce rhythmic breathing, introducing movement plus music plus the synchronicity of movement and music. So now these sounds are as an activity, but they are something that could bring concentration. As I said, concentration is also dharana. It's a form of meditation that you do. Okay, it brings concentration. So meditation does not necessarily mean that I sit in one place and I meditate, but it also means that how I am practicing the activity and helping the body, my mind to synchronize. Learning to formulate one's own affirmation. So in Touching Lives, here the child is now creating their own affirmations and they're saying their own affirmations. 4 to 5 minutes of silent time. Then we do the guided meditation, because here the mind is now capable of executing what's being told. Okay, so 7+ are usually the children who have great retention power. What you tell them, they are able to implement that, and it helps the mind to not to get wandered with free flow meditation. And practicing values, so practicing gratefulness, saying thank you, being kind, all these becomes a part of their day-to-day meditation. Then I will directly go to 11+, the kind of activities, meditations that you could introduce to them is progressive relaxation. So progressive relaxation is very simple, where you take the child from relaxing the body from head to toe. You give them the instructions, you give them the suggestions, and they go through the process. This is also a time in their lives when they are entering into the teenage years. So a sense of self image, a self identity has started to surface. And progressive relaxation could actually allow the child to accept himself or herself. You know, that, oh, I have a body, I have a hand, I have a finger, I have an eyes, I have nose, and all the different parts of the body as well as the different parts of psyche. Then breathing and pranayam. So breathing is a very one has to go and Google and understand what breathing means and what pranayam means. Pranayam is actually the regulation of the breath. Now, one thing that meditation does is to enhance our uh, um, the universal life force energy inside us. Okay, so we must understand that despite whatever backgrounds the children come from, despite of whatever histories they carry with themselves, and even if they are our own children, they have come with a soul, they have come with their own understanding of their lives that they will realize over a period of time. Meditation allows them to connect with the life force energy that connects all of us. Okay, so when I'm meditating, the force inside me to live life, the motivation to continue living life in a better way enhances. Okay, so
Right.
it is very similar to saying resilience, but at the same time, it is really activating the life force. I remember an incident when I had sciatica very badly, and I had gone to visit a chiropractor. And when I was lying on the table, he looked at me and he said that, there's no life force inside you. You're there like a dead body. So and only meditation and only healing help me out to bring that tamasic state into the state of that life again. So the life force energy is very important, and what breathing does is when when the air goes inside the nose, it's not the breath. Okay, it becomes breath when it reaches our lungs, and in our lungs there is a small a thing called alveoli, and this alveoli carries the air into the different parts of the body. Okay, and then it comes back and releases the carbon dioxide. So when this air goes into that alveoli is when the air becomes breath. Okay, so it's very important to understand that breathing, when you're cooking, when you're reading, when you're just like too stressed, when you're going to give your exams, when you're about to start your class, just a simple breathing exercise could bring you into that meditative space because the life force energy has enhanced inside you. Uh, and this also enhances your creativity. Yeah? So the child can get more ideas, can become more imaginative, the intuition enhances. Then 11 plus breathing, pranayam, dancing, and movement, listening to meditation, listening to storytelling, sound bowl. Also, listening to the sounds outside, which is called as the nishpand bhav. It's a relaxation technique, the nishpand bhav, where you're just sitting, closing your eyes, and you just, your back is resting on the wall, and your palms are facing the ceiling, and your eyes are closed, and you're just like paying giving attention to the sounds of the external environment. That's it. That's nishpand bhav. You're taking your mind outside your body. Okay, and letting and not getting attached to any sounds and not getting attached to any thoughts, but just listening to it. So that is another thing. And then walking meditation. So not necessarily you want to go to garden or want to go to the beach and do the walking. Even in the classroom, you could walk from one room to another, and even at home you could walk to one room to another, and that could itself be like a meditation. Yeah.
There's so
Then
much, Sonia.
14.
We have always felt that meditation is always sitting like in one space, right? So I think all these what you're sharing is definitely opening up the space in their minds that there's a lot more to meditation than only sitting in one space.
Yes,
Yes,
yes. There is a lot more to meditation because a lot
a
of
lot
people,
more.
I mean, we are all different kind of people. Some people like pop music, some people like jazz, some people
Right,
like
right,
classical music. So
right,
not necessarily. So that is what I'm trying to say. That meditation is something that, first of all, the nature of meditation is giving. Okay, it will help you
right.
to give better. It will give you many things. Okay,
You
and
better.
you can choose. If reading is your meditation, it is your meditation. If just looking outside the
Right,
window is your meditation, is your meditation. You
right.
just need to know that you're not missing out on anything if you are not able to just sit in one place and meditate. you know
True.
so you have to find what works for you.
Right. I will
uh,
just take a minute to just remind everybody who's joined us that if there is any question, any doubts in your mind, you want to ask anything about meditation, please make a note of it, and we'll have time towards the end of the session where you can share all your questions. So please do make a note of it. Yes, back to you, Sonia.
Okay, so now meditations for 14 plus. Uh, Now 14 plus are the people, if you look at the time when we were 14, we were in ninth grade, 10th grade, and there was so much pressure to be right and to be correct and to be moral and to be ethical and to choose a career, to
True.
choose a to understand the peer pressure. So there's this life happening, there's movement that's happening, and to bring that state of sattva, to bring that state of consciousness, is something that is very challenging. Okay, so I'll give you my example. When I was in that space, I have been very fortunate because meditation continued to live with me in a very different form since my childhood. But I remember that I used to go to my grandmother's house, and in the evening we used to meditate together. And after that, I used to clean, like it as to sweep and broom her house. That was my daily thing. Okay, so one day she just told me that instead of just cleaning and taking the dust and throwing it in the dustbin, why don't you just imagine that when you're cleaning, you are giving your love to the world, or you are see yourself, imagine yourself doing good. Like if there is a problem with a friend, think that just by brooming your problems will be solved. So it was such a it was like metaphorical, but I started practicing it. So it's not that I practice it now. Whenever I am reminded of, whenever I clean or whenever I do something in the kitchen, I'm reminded of her, and how you can bring the space of stillness inside you, the space of resolution, the attitude inside you, so that your two jobs get done. One is the mental state gets balanced, and the other is
Right.
the your home is clean. So it's just that once again, that when we are 14 plus, there are so many things that are happening
Right.
around. So for this Vipassana is a very good form of practice that could be included. When I say Vipassana, it's again, when we are even talking about meditation, it's not about religion that we are talking here about. It's not propagating any religion, because all the religion talks about meditation. At the end of the day, uh, it is more your spiritual practice. It is more for your mindfulness practice. uh, then guided meditation, Tratak, as I said, the candle meditation that could be practiced. Uh, uh, I mean, as easily I'm saying Tratak, it's a process. So people who are actually thinking to get this practice in their classroom, it's very important that you do a little bit of research on how to introduce Tratak in your classroom or at your home, and how you need to practice this. Loving kindness, forgiveness meditation. Once again, it's about Ho'oponopono, mantras and chanting. So this is the age where you really understand what are mantras, what are chanting, and you can sit for hours. So there is this Buddhist chanting that one can do. Nowadays, online on YouTube, there are a lot of frequency chanting that happens. So that could be introduced in your class. And you need to understand that meditation is like helping your child, helping yourself to integrate. Not necessary that after every meditation I should feel like, oh, I have life inside me. No, it's not necessary. So
Right.
take your, like, don't bring a lot of expectation that meditation should bring this to my life. It's just that I
There's a
this
whole
is
lot
this
of
is
judgments and
yes,
expectations, and outcomes
yes,
that we want, we expect.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's a practice, it's a process, and once again, meditation is something that everybody can do on this planet in their own way. So, yeah, if there is any question that people want to ask,
Yes.
I'll be very happy to answer.
Yes, there's one question, and I'm sure you're going to love it because it's about a process that very close to you. So there's Nishi who's asked this question: how to encourage teenagers to practice journaling?
Okay, so I must say that
Yes.
I have my journal right here, Nishi, and is Nishi our student? The student Nishi, or is someone else?
I
Okay,
don't think so. It's somebody else. I feel
okay.
it's somebody else. Nishi Shah. Yes.
Okay, all right. So Nishi, and also someone who had asked about that anxiety thing and how it they can
Anxiety,
work out
yes.
after alcohol. So I think this is the answer. So few in 2014, I was struck with sciatica. Sciatica is a nerve issue that is the longest nerve in your leg, and it gets pinched and you're not able to walk, and it's painful. And so I was on a bed rest for a year, almost a year and a half. And bed rest means literally bed rest, like, just to get up was a dream for me. And this created a lot of anxiety. Okay. Now, when I look back, I understand that, just that lying down in one position had led to tamasic energy. Okay, the energy of like just being sluggish and stuckness. So there was a lot of stuckness that was there, and I needed to bring movement, but I couldn't move. So what will I do? Okay, so this was creating this energy. This non-movement energy was creating a lot of anxiety, okay, and lot of fear. Okay, and the anxiety would be as such that it would lead to panic attacks. Okay, so it was very, very difficult. I would feel that there's this cloud around me and I'm not able to think straight. And I realized, no, I have to get myself out of this cloud. It was enough. So my legs were not working, but my hands were. So I started writing. And so I started writing 3 pages every single day, like long book. And initially, as I started writing, there were all complaints and complaints and complaints and complaints. And for the next 6 months, when I look back, I would see that all the 3 pages were of complaints. And, after 8 months, it was like, oh, my complaints are over in like half. Not that it was like conscious, but I would read my thoughts and say that, oh, now just half a page of complaints, like, but then rest was like a lot of ideas and a lot of channeling and a lot of intuition that started flowing in, and a lot of things that already manifested in my life, so whatever, showed up. So, journaling is again, for a lot of people, they think that what to write, how to write, I'm not a good
True.
writer. And
True.
so, whatever your thoughts about you, writing is also something that you should write. Okay. So, even the thought that, oh, I'm not able to think anything, write that down. I'm not able to get anywhere, write that down. So, every thought needs to be written, and not necessary that you have to have a productive answer in what you're writing. So it's as simple as that you start writing every single day. Allocate a time, like wake up in the morning, allocate a time and start writing. If you can't write like 3 pages, start with 1 page. And even if you like, it's like shit, I have to finish it somehow, like scribble anything, meaningless stuff, but just write it. And you will realize over a period of time that you will not be able to stay without writing. So it will become so much a part of your life.
Yes. Yes, I too had an experience, and Sonia has always spoken about journaling and her experience. She's also taken few sessions. So, I have also gone through this experience of, before starting, I'm like, okay, what am I going to write? What is it going to be? All those kind of questions. So once you start your journey, once you start writing it, the process, you just get into it. So it's all about just starting, just beginning with it. So I connect with what you say. As a beginner, as a beginner, to do with journaling, yes.
Yeah.
So yes, Nishi, that was for you. So I hope this is going to help you and to some extent talk about journaling with your daughter.
I'll also share one example, not about journaling, but I'm just reminded of some kid at Touching Lives who was who was feeling like a lot of panic, like he was in anxious and he was in a panic situation. And Rubina came and said that, can you talk to him? And all I did was I just sat with him, held his hands. And as I just held his hands, he started crying for 5-10 minutes, and that's it, you know. And I don't know if Aditi you remember who that person is, but um, this guy built such a strong connection. He was not my student. Of course, we used to talk, but he was in another class, and we had never had a deep conversation. So I just sat with him, holding his hands, and he just cried. That's it, and after that, that bond was there. A silent bond was there. So
Yes, I
it's
remember.
just that even if you can't meditate, just be with yourself in silence. Try. Don't expect yourself to be perfect even in meditation. Like so. And don't expect your child to, like, if you it's a 5-minute meditation, he'll sit for 5 minutes. It's okay if he opens his eyes and if he does what he does. The idea and the purpose is to introduce the concept of meditation to
Yes,
the child.
right.
I think I've said whatever I have to say.
Yes, okay. Um, Very, very insightful, I must say. A lot of things were also new to me. So thank you for sharing. And lot of experience that you had, all that you could share with us. So that made the connect. So, okay, now I would like to ask people if there are any questions that you would like to ask, anything that you want to talk about, meditation, your questions, your doubts, anything that you have heard, you want some kind of validation that is this true?
Thank you,
So,
Bhavi.
yes, yes, thank you, Nishi.
Great. So I think
Okay,
we are good. Once again, people who have joined in,
okay,
just want to bring one element that the nature of meditation is giving.
yes,
When you sit for meditation, it's not just that meditation will bring you closer to your own self realization, but you, in your own way, are also contributing to the universal consciousness. So
right.
all those out there who are meditating every day, thanks to all of them, who are holding the energy for the earth.
There's one last question, Sonia. Any kind of meditation for me to relax my mind? Please help me
Yes,
out.
yeah. So I think what you could do is there are a lot of yoga nidra meditations online. They are guided ones, and if you could listen to them, it will be great. There are a lot of apps, please download them for meditation, and you could do that. There are talks that you can listen to. One thing I would suggest you to go online and check the Course in Miracles website. They have exercises that you could do every day. They're very small exercises that you could do throughout the day. And some are very reflective exercises. Some are exercises that you can sit and do. Some are exercises that you can do it with your friends. So, Course in Miracles, this is a website that you can go and every day you can read like it, and that will could be a start of your day.
Okay.
Thank you, Ram. All
Right.
right. I see
Thank you so much.
Nargis after a long time. Good Nargis to see you here. Uh, okay. So thank you, Aditi. And I think
Yes. Thank you
we
so much.
will. Yes. Thank you. Bye. Namaste.
Yes. Thank you everyone for joining in, and do practice meditation and at least reflect on the points that were shared in today's session, and hope it's going to help you a lot. We'll be sharing the recording also so you can have a look at it.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
there are
Thank you, Sonia.
other few sessions
Yes.
happening tomorrow, day after, for a few days. You can follow Touching Lives channel. Okay. Bye.
All right. Bye. See you.
See you.